Hi there, Earth Nation. This is Amanda with the Activated Earth. I'm coming to you from the mothership, this is my winter picture, the mothership. It's spring here now. I need to get a spring picture of the mothership. And I am here with my friend Pia Avia. One of the first interviews for my summit on the what, how, when of the quantum, where we get to discover all the ways that creating can be easy. So creating for better health, for more abundance, for other amazing surprises that you don't expect. And we are going to start with Pia today, and I'm going to introduce her. So I have her bio. It's right here on my handy that you can't see device. So I'm going to read this and then we'll just dive right in. So Pia Avia is a true embodiment of peace. That's so true. She has been following her heart and soul for a few years now and is always surprised by the magic and wonders of this spiritual journey when you fully trust and surrender to the divine. Pia is highly intuitive and uses this gift and other abilities in her mentorship with her KES, as in Christic energy system sessions, workshops, and multidimensional art to assist others to remember their true self. And Pia has a piece of her multidimensional art right behind her there, that doorway, which is absolutely gorgeous. She began offering her services as a strategy coach, spiritual life coach, and soul alignment coach, and is now a certified Christic energy server, trained by Sananda and Shakina of twinray.com. The creativity of her soul is endless and magical, which can be felt and experienced through her art. Her intention for you is to become whole again and to feel empowered, liberated, and sovereign. And I actually have known Pia for several years, and I can assure you that all of these things are absolutely true. So Pia, is there anything you would like to add to that? Is there anything that as when you introduce yourself today that you would like to add to?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Amanda, for giving me this opportunity to speak on your summit. And you know, I really love your honesty and I love your authenticity and rawness. And this is something that I absolutely love, you know, just to say how things are and not to kind of sugarcoat it. And so what I want to share today is that I have a stiff neck. I really feel it's important to mention that. And I have so much pain right now. And, but, you know, I was invited to do the interview very spontaneously. And I'm so grateful and blessed to do it. And no matter how I feel, and I'm not fully able to move my body really. But this is just what it is, right? So I guess this is something that I appreciate about who I am, is just saying what it is and being raw and real more and more. I wasn't like that in the past, you know, like most of us, you know, just pretending to be a certain way, putting on masks and just to please and comfort others, or even hiding.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is part of your message is it's really okay that you're not perfect, that things around you aren't perfect. Doesn't mean that you don't have, and when I say you, I mean the collective you out there. It doesn't mean that we don't all have something good to offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, one of the last times that we talked, you had started to describe to me the energy system that we have around us as it has opened up for you. And I would really love to hear more about that, because that is definitely a piece of the quantum energy that I would like everybody who's watching to hear about and to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first of all, I don't know everything, and I'm discovering more and more. And peace, bits by bits, come back into my awareness, into my consciousness, or I'm conscious of it. And I understand more and more how important, or what actually my purpose is to focus fully on the new earth. And that we get to receive everything we need to build this new earth. That means that, you know, we all went through our clearings and, you know, doing this and that, you know, our individual and collective work. But I feel now we also really want to focus on what we need to create. And we already have all these codes within us. We just need to unlock these. And yeah, so what Amanda and I talked about the other day is what just came through me. I mean, I was aware of it, but this is sometimes how it works, right? You're just speaking and then you're discovering something awesome and new. And I understand that even though we are really asked to live in the now moment, because the power is in the now moment, we get to create from that with everything that is new. So I'm not talking about the future, but with all these new codes and geometries, you know, and with that, we create a new reality that is right in front of us, constantly being created, you know, being projected from within to the, like to out, without, yeah, or outside, right? So yeah, so what I said the other day is that, I mean, I really want to connect with my ascended version. I want to connect with everything that has already ascended, or that it has a certain stage completed. And yeah, that we get to call in these new energies or these ascended energies to create constantly more and better, and which is more in alignment with unity, and where we get to collaborate and co-create, and where it is all about coming together and doing it together. Quite the opposite of what we used to do in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you mentioned codes, and I was wondering if you could expand on what you mean by that.
Okay, so what I understood for myself is, I mean, when we were created as a soul, we have a certain purpose, how the divine wants to experience itself through us. But I want to just go to the part where when we decided to incarnate here, we already had like a blueprint with us, or a template, that are kind of codes that help us to create this reality that we see. And how can I put it in a way that is more understandable? Well, what I believe is that, you know, just like, I mean, I used to be an IT manager for many years, you know, fixing computers, installing computers, and teaching people how to use Wi-Fi, and you know, all these kind of things. So I have a kind of like an understanding more of the energetic architecture in that we are in as a holographic reality. And these codes, they hold certain geometries and maybe light patterns or sound and frequencies. And yeah, this is what kind of like we use to build this reality. But honestly, I couldn't explain it in detail. I'm just, like I said in the beginning, I'm also learning just by going along this journey. But I see these codes as something that you use to build something. Maybe like if you build a house, you know, what do you need to build a house? And then these codes, these are like light codes that come from, that are not visible to these two eyes, but I believe visible to the third eye, or the real first eye to some people. They can see these structures in the air, and they even see it as light codes that are coming into their awareness. And yeah.
So you mentioned how we are coded with a certain blueprint, so that when we come here, we create this reality, which is something, you know, if you read about the Matrix, as some people call it, because that's the buzzword way of describing what we live in, or the quantum, the writers all say that reality is what it is because that's what we expect it to be. So we are self-generating this. And I sort of have a what came first, the chicken or the egg question for you. You know, what do you think is happening with this reality that we live in? how much is co-created and how much of it co-created us? What do you think?
I don't want to really think about it. I want to feel into it.
Okay.
A beautiful question. And it's, yeah, that's a really good question. Like, what does it feel like? What am I receiving to that question?
Yeah, I mean, I just like to hear. I don't know the answer to that question myself.
What I can feel is that there's some sort of answer to it, but it is not understandable with the human mind. And
Do you
it is
think it
something.
happens both ways, though? Do you think that
Oh,
there's
with the
sort of
chicken and the egg thing. Well, what I always like the story about Brahma, you know, creating everything and playing with Maya. I mean, there's a story that I heard from my teachers about Brahma. I think, I mean, I hope I repeat it correctly, but he created Maya because he was bored and he wanted someone to play with. So Maya is kind of the illusion. So they played this game that I really hope I'm repeating it correctly, but yeah, he just wanted to play with another something being, and she said, you know what, I also want to play, and thank you for creating me. How about we play a very interesting game? And Brahma was like, yeah, so what are we going to play? And she said, how about creating something? Like, let's create a universe with planets and stars and stuff. And he was like, oh, that sounds exciting, so let's do this. So he just created it like this. And then she said, how about we're going to create a bit more and more and more and more. And then they created the earth. And she said, how about creating like beings with 2 arms and 2 legs and some animals and stuff. And well, then he just created them, which, yeah, is probably not just us on this planet, but also on other planetary systems. And then she said, okay, but now we got to make this game very interesting. And he was asking like, yeah, what's going to happen now? I'm very curious. And she said, well, I cannot really tell you, but the thing is that you got to give me full permission that I can create anything I want, or wish or ask for anything that I want to wish for. And then he said, well, I'm not sure about that, you know. And she, like, I got to repeat it again. I'm just sharing the story how I perceived them, and I really like it because it's just funny. And then she said, yeah, you got to give me full permission. You have to trust me fully that whatever I'm going to wish, it's going to be fun. And he said, okay, all right, yeah, let's do this. And I'll grant you access to make that wish come true, or to manifest that. And in an instant, she just wished that he would split into infinite pieces and kind of like bring life and consciousness into everything he had created. And with that, also forget who he is. And the game is actually that he would have to remember who he is through everything that he has created, which are the human beings, animals, and planets. So this is basically us, you know.
Yeah.
We are that, what I think they, in the Vedic culture, like I said, I'm not really sure where they talk about Brahma. I read a couple of books, but sometimes I'm not really interested in what happened in the past, rather in what's going to happen in the now and what we need to create. But it's so good to understand a little bit how we were created. So maybe this answers the question.
Maybe that does answer the question.
So there's Brahma, who was just bored and wanted to play a little bit, and then he created Maya, which is the illusion, and she made a fool out of him, you know, by like tearing him apart in bits and pieces, which are us. So we get to like peel the onion just to remember who we are at the very beginning, which makes so sense when we think about returning back to unity consciousness, right?
Yeah. And so I have more questions coming up in my mind around that story, but I want to backtrack just a little bit before going there. And I want to address what you said about the ascending energies that are here. So you talked about that the energies, the ascension energies are here. And I was wondering if you could describe that or somehow share for the audience in whatever way works for you, what that means, you know, what that looks like, what that feels like. Is it mixed in with other energies that are still here that other people are working through?
Okay, so I mean, we are multidimensional beings, and what you focus on, this is what you get to experience. And of course, when we were asleep or unaware, or when it wasn't time yet for us to wake up, we would experience reality based on our subconsciousness or what we couldn't see. And now we are stepping up into or remembering, returning back to become the creator of your reality. And so what I understand is that as a multidimensional being, I exist in different dimensions or densities, actually, you know, in different vibrational rates. And there are different parallel timelines. So based on what decisions I make and whatever I do and focus on, this is the timeline I am going to be on. But I also feel that or believe that there's only one highest timeline where there's greatest joy, and which is like the fast track back to Brahma, so to speak, you know, to discover the absolute truth of who we are. That is when we focus on what has already ascended. So I believe that there's already an ascended version of me that has gone through all the clearing and, you know, recalibrations and everything that we are, all these stages and phases that we are going through on our ascension path. So I believe that there's already a version that has already kind of made it, even though this version is also still like continuously ascending, because as far as I understand is that there's no end to it. There's no end of remembering. And I don't know what, you know, you remember a little bit and then the next day a little bit more, and it goes on and on and on. But this is what I feel. And of course I do know this because in the teachings of my teachers, they talk about this, or they help me to have this come back to me as a memory. Because the teacher, I mean, they just say something you already know, you just have forgotten, and they basically just remind you. So everything has already ascended, but there's only one reality that I am physically experiencing, right? So, and since we also talked about, or I mentioned New Earth, and this is what we get to create here now on the planet, and there's already a highest timeline for the collective, and we get to, I'm not sure if it's all about being ascending fast, or that's not what it is about. It is about enjoying it. But if we connect with, let's say, the timeline that some people call New Earth timeline or Golden Age timeline, if we connect with that and pull it into our body or heart space body, and a lot of people are guided in their mentorship programs or meditations, whatever, they're all guided to gather with others to focus on this highest timeline outcome. So I hope that answered your question.
It does, and it actually it answers some of the questions I was going to ask about the Brahma story as well. So I'm gonna like skip ahead, and that's me doing like a little bunny hop over the other question. And let's talk about what gets to happen for the planet, for our reality here, which is, the reality is all fluid, right? I mean, that's how I see it. It's fluid, it's changing. My reality may be different from your reality. Everybody has their own reality of what is truth here. And there's an underlying, I would say, majority reality that spends its time in lack and fear. So as Brahma wakes up, how does reality get to change? How does the planet get to look or feel or be as each individual little God spark wakes up?
So how I understand it is that every soul, and that's probably a different story, but every soul gets to experience whatever it wants to experience and learn. So maybe some souls, they choose to vibrate, or let's say the physical incarnation choose to vibrate in a lower frequency. It might even choose to stay in lack. And then there are other beings like you and me who feel the call by just tuning into, by listening to our intuition, guidance, or even soul, what to do to create like a collective experience. So what I'm noticing is over the last couple of months or years, how there's more this feeling of connecting with others and co-creating. And the more we do our work, inner work, meditation, journaling, whatever that is, there's more this intuitive knowing, or we could call it telepathic connections, where we're all tapping into this one highest timeline maybe, and we all kind of know what we got to do. Go here, go there, go. But the ones who are not tapped into, I mean, I believe some people, they believe they need to run around and wake everyone up. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel everyone should ask that question. Is this really what's supposed to be? Or are we just supposed to continue with our service work, which actually I understand is the more you step into your service or mission, the more your energetic field expands, your light body gets activated. The more the light body is activated and your field is expanded, and you walk around on the earth, people who are kind of feeling your energy or are being touched by your energy, something awakens within them. But there's no need to like, come on, wake up. Don't you see the truth? I mean, everyone, like you said, everyone has their own truth depending on what level of consciousness they are. Because I can tell, a couple of months or years, I said certain things that are not true anymore. And that's a tough one for the ego, to accept the fact that I was wrong. And that is okay, and then we move on and, keep on going on our journey. But I believe by tapping into this unified field or unity consciousness, this is where we really start to feel the truth and just know what we need to do, because we want to focus on the new creation and not, it's not that we're leaving anyone behind, but yeah, I feel if somebody sees someone struggling or whatever, what is needed is compassion. That is a frequency. If you hold that in your field, this is where the other person might be able to reconnect with their soul, where they start to begin, where the spark is being lit up and being ignited. So that's what I understand, is just by being us and sharing who we are, which is sharing our codes and energetic signature and making it available. This is where others get to connect with us so that they can also remember their truth. But I believe I understood, for me it was very important to let go of souls that choose to go through another lesson again, you know. Like we are not here to tell them like, hey, look, I know the truth and you got to believe what I believe in. Like how this is not how it works. But you know, we are all here to play. And that is a fun part, kind of. If we do not have a certain opinion or judgment about someone that we consider as asleep or awake or disconnected or not aligned, whatever, it doesn't really, you know, matter. But if we begin to offer our wisdom and our gifts, they can come, you know. We're not running around or running after people like, hey, come on, you got to do this and this, which I've done, by the way, too, you know. But where did I come from? I was lonely and I wanted other souls to play with me. But I was coming from lack. But if you're just in your present and you just offer what you have to offer, and you open all the doors and portals and gateways for people to come to you, how much peace do you have when you just let them come to you? You know, we're not chasing anyone, or we're not trying to fix anything or anyone. We're just present and we're just making our offers available. But everything should be enjoyed, and it cannot be enjoyed if we try to force something ourselves or others to do this or that.
Yeah.
There's no enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
I think I could hear a cat.
Oh, on here on my end or
Yeah.
yours? Is Kissy there?
No, I mean on your end.
On my end, what you are hearing is so I live in a house. There are 7 of us living in this house, and it's a big space. We have 5,000 square feet. This is one of the quirks of what gets to happen for interviews at the mothership. The regenerative farm and nature retreat, is that what you're hearing is not the pitter patter of little feet, but the thump, thump, thump of my 9-year-old grandson upstairs running back and forth. That's what you're hearing. So please enjoy, everybody.
Yeah,
Please enjoy the sound of my grandson exuberantly running back and forth.
It looks like he's creating some new patterns, you know, he's weaving a new reality above your head.
He is. And we all get to make it okay that, you know, things don't, you know, I feel like this is a big part of your message. And since this came up, I guess we can talk about it. Things don't have to be sterile and clean in order for them to be high vibrational, right? It can get messy. You can have, your neck can be all messed up, or, you know, there can be all this crazy noise coming from where I am, and the message still gets to be high vibrational.
Yeah, it is. That's true, because we have entered, like, energetically, what I feel and I'm experiencing is we have entered a phase that where the energies that are coming in, they kind of make everything a bit messy and chaotic. I'm not sure if you have felt that, but it is truly asking us to come into the present moment.
Yeah.
To take a breath before you think or allow a thought to become more present, before you act upon something, before you speak, whatever. Everything should come really from the fullness of who you are. But still the energies are asking us to they're challenging us, kind of, so to speak, to come more into that present moment.
Yeah. And that actually brings me to a really great question, I think, because I would love people to have a tool that they can look at. So being in the present right now, more than any other time in history, if we want to talk about time as a construct, being in the now feels like it's more important than ever before. And maybe you could share from your own experience or what you've seen in your working with other people, what are the red flags to pay attention to for everybody when they're not in there now? How do they know if they're not in the present? What might be happening inside them? What are they feeling? What are they experiencing?
Yeah, that's actually a good way to ask the question instead of asking what could they do. But you notice it when you feel that life is difficult, when you would say, oh man, there's so many challenges, and you come more from a complaining point of view or even blaming others. When there's certain amount of resistance, or where there's zero acceptance. If you do not accept what you have created, well, then you're not in the present moment, because then you have forgot, then you became unconscious, versus becoming a conscious creator. But if you do not like what you see around yourself, then there's something you need to look at. Why don't you accept your own reality? And of course, when you feel there's some sort of illness or this disease or mood swings or something, then you're not in the present moment. And I'm so much better being in the present moment. I'm not always, but I'm so much better. And what I experience is when I am in the present moment, my body is relaxed. I'm mostly smiling. I have even experienced bliss just a couple of days or weeks ago, which I never knew how it feels like, where you just feel that everything is perfect. It might not look like it, but you feel like it is perfect. And that brings peace. It brings health, like your health is getting better. It brings clarity. It brings like you're fully aligned. You're totally tuned into your intuition. You can receive guidance from your team, your higher self, from God, whatever you want to call it, your universe. But these are the benefits being in the present moment. Things work out magically. Miracles do occur. Yeah. So the question is, how do you get there? First of all, you want to get there. You want to have the desire to get there, because I feel there can be like a lot of things people do, but they're not fully committed. There can be the will, oh yeah, I want to be in the present moment. But then there is a unconscious pattern coming up where because I noticed that on myself, I wanted to sit and kind of meditate. And then I had the idea, oh, I want to get a coffee, and told myself, if I get the coffee, then it's easier to just be quiet. Maybe not meditate, but be quiet. But you need to be in the present moment actually to see what kind of distractions or stories you have created that distract you from being in the present moment. And sometimes it's not easy. There's so much, in my case, masculine energy in the body that you need to move. You want to do this, you want to do that, and then you might have come up guilt, the critic, your inner critic or ego tells you, you got to do this, you got to do that. Why don't you do this? But the thing is, if you are supposed to do something, you want to come from that present moment, because then it goes like this. It goes so fast and quick. I had someone texting me. I was offering them a session in exchange for something, and the person said, yeah, I would love to, but first I got to do this and this, and then I will have the session. And I already felt the stressful energy, and I thought, well, the person should actually have a session first, or do anything to come into the present moment, and then do the next steps, and then do this and that.
Yeah. And that's the be, do, have, right? You need to be before you do, so then you have what you really want.
And the reason for that is because in the past we believed that the physical body does everything, and we did this and that, but we are multidimensional beings, remembering that we create with our light body. And if you're in the present moment, then you are able to feel actually, and everybody might perceive it differently, but let's say you just feel your aura or a ball of light around you, whatever, or you even feel every subtle body, your emotional body, mental body, your akashic or causal body, etc., astral body. But this is how we create, with all these cool bodies that we have. But how do you, if you're not in the present moment, you are just, you don't get to tap into it or connect with it, or even your soul, your light, the love that it has for you, or that your creator, whatever you want to call it, how much love it has for you. That is all not being, you cannot access it if you're not in the present moment.
Yeah, and that's so beautiful. And
transform and alchemize. Sorry,
yeah.
but I had to.
No, that's okay. I want everything to be clear for everybody who's watching and listening. And I feel this like this, all these little voices coming in going, okay, but if I'm always in my present, how do I create my future? How do I create my imagined future? And I'm just wondering how you might answer that question.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're already creating, or let's say, I would put it like that, your higher aspect or ascended version or future self has already created something or certain opportunities. So you got to tap into it by being in the present moment and feel into it. That's how I feel, how it is for me.
I think that's a perfect way. That's so clear. That's so clear as far as, what that means to be in the present, yet still be in line with what you're imagining for yourself. I think that's perfect. Is there anything else around what people get to be in order to work with these ascending energies that you'd like to share?
Yeah. Well, I can feel there are two things that want to be shared. First of all, you are worthy of it. I feel that's a huge thing. Everyone is worthy of receiving support, receiving these new frequencies, receiving divine inspirations, guidance. And the second thing is but you need to ask for it. You wanna go into the present moment and ask for it. Set the intention. I intend to connect with my team, my higher self, my future self. I intend to be guided. I intend to receive support, because I share that because that's what I've done, and it shifted everything when I started to ask for it. Plus feeling the worthiness of receiving the guidance, because sometimes you might ask for it, but then you're not ready to receive it when there's unworthiness or resistance, because there's a lot of things that everyone is dreaming about, and yeah, I want this and that, but are you ready to receive it? So yeah. Yeah. So being in the present moment, connecting with your future self, tapping into what it has already dreamt for you or created. You want to pull that frequency in, so you can embody it and then vibrate in that vibration to match that reality that is desired.
That's lovely. And I feel like that fully embodies what it feels like to be working in the highest vibrational of the quantum energies that are here in order to help us create. And I know when I use the word quantum, I do want to stress that even though I've read a lot about quantum physics, I am not an expert. I
Me
just
neither.
feel it, I just feel it. I feel it that it's here to help us, and it's here to help us achieve our heart's desires, and faster than than we imagine it can, that we can create on our own. So actually being in partnership with those energies that are here. So one last question for you that I would like to pose is, how do you connect with that? So I can just imagine that there are people here watching going, how do I connect with that? What does that mean? It's so I can't see it, I can't touch it. What do I do?
Yeah.
We already covered the being.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to be committed to it, and you might want to ask your guidance to share or tell you how to do it. I believe it's different for everyone, but it is first making the intention or decision to do it. And then, yeah, I'm just feeling into to answer that a bit more specifically. I mean, I was so strongly guided to have certain people, coaches, teachers, mentors who help me with that. And so there are a lot of exercises or things that I do again and again and again, so that first of all, that I got access to that, what we talk about, the quantum field or primordial source, where everything is in there, available. But it took a lot, honestly, it took a lot of work for me to get there again and again. And you don't do it once, you do it every day. And I start with my morning meditations, and there's nothing that I could commit myself for a long time before, let's say 2 p.m., because I needed my time, my space. And some people call it isolation. I mean, that sounds kind of negative, but anyways, what I did is I isolated myself so that I could have that time and space to tap into it and discover and explore and feel into it. And it is truly all about feeling it. And you can only, I believe, you got to be in the present moment to feel it. And every day you feel a bit more. In the beginning, there might be feelings you don't want to feel, but this is part of it, like unpleasant emotions, which I feel important to say is that there are certain blockages that prevent you from connecting with your soul, higher self, or source. And you got to move through these blockages, and that's why we've been given so many tools from let's say Reiki or the Christic energy system that I am using, or some other healing methods, or astrology, numerology. I mean, all these tools, and by the way, they also are ascending, also astrology and numerology.
Yes.
I feel that's so important to say. A lot of people, they're using astrology, but it has ascended already. So, but you got to figure out yourself what that means. But I'm learning a little bit about it. If you want to call it 5D astrology or golden age astrology. I think there are not many people out there who have already looked at it that way. But anyways, yeah, we have all these tools that can help us to remove these blockages piece by piece. And it is a journey, and it should be fun, actually, which it is not always. I always like to mention it, I have so much compassion for everyone, because it is no fun sometimes when you're spinning in circles and you're not getting it. But you need to remember the tools are there. You just need to listen to your guidance, set the intention to have your guidance, your higher self, to show you what you need, what key or tool, so that you can access what you're craving for, which is your truth.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And I feel like that is so perfect for the Earth Nation that's out there listening right now, to hear where they can reach you. What contact information do you have to share? Where could they go to learn more about you and connect with you, if you would share that with us now?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I have a free gift that would be meditations, activations, transmissions that I have done, that I have started in 2020, and there are a lot of them, and they don't really have a specific topic. I just allow the energy to come through me in this meditation, and they're all free on my Facebook page called Wake Up Your Soul.
Mm.
They're a bit older, but it doesn't really matter if they're older or whatever, because, you know, this is something I always like to say. You got to trust your feeling, your intuition. What is it that you need right now? You know, when I have like so many meditations I like to listen to, but I always ask my higher self, which one do I need now? Which has a piece that I need to embody more, or that helps me to release on a deeper level? So I suggest the same with my Facebook page, to see what you feel called to listen to. And then, of course, I have a website, which is wakeupyoursoulcreations.com. And this is where you can actually book a session with me, or even if you choose to book 3 sessions in advance. And I'm using this Christic energy system that Amanda mentioned in my bio, which is a future technology from a future timeline, which came here or was brought forth from my teachers Amanda and Shakina to help humanity shift, not faster, because it's not about fast, but to shift with more ease and grace into a higher timeline reality. Because it also works on soul level, it helps you clear past lives, it helps you clear also your environment that you're living in. So everyone is benefiting from it basically. And it works also on soul monad. So it is something that it is not just working for you, it works for kind of everyone who is in contact with you, or will be in contact, or was, and all your ancestors. I mean, it's a very beautiful technology. And if you want to learn more about it, or about the system sessions that I offer, you can read that on my Facebook page. And I started painting last year, but I wouldn't consider myself as a painter. I'm more like an artist, or I'm creating what wants to be created through me. My neck. So this is one of the the creations I created, and I call them high heart portals. So these creations, they work on multi-dimensional level. So I can feel how my soul, of course, has all the knowledge and wisdom how to paint these for one specific soul who is meant to receive it to accelerate their ascension journey. Because it works with all the zodiacs. I'm not going to go into that, but it is important at one point to remember you are your entire universe. Okay, so you are all the zodiacs at some point. You're all the planets. It's all within you. So they kind of work with that to help you to up level your, or raise your consciousness and your frequency. It is about activating the sacred heart, the high heart chakra, and and whatever your soul wants you to remember, it's all in there. And I have 2 more here. They can just show them quickly if somebody is interested. So there's one in progress. The blue one is not done yet, and the pink one is already finished. And I feel that this is receiving the order straight from the soul, what I'm meant to create. And they are kind of encoded with I'm not sure how to call this, but with information or light codes that help the person by purchasing it or looking at it to be active, to reactivate it.
That's
and
great.
if somebody's interested to receive their own, or maybe they even like 2 of them, or the ones that I made, I mean, reach out. I'm happy to assist you on your journey.
Excellent. And so the many ways to connect with Pia. Don't worry if you didn't get that written down. It'll be going out in the email with this interview. And Pia, thank you so much for being with me today, for co-creating this summit with me today. I feel like this has been just one of the best conversations I have ever had. So thank you for doing this with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Also for giving me the opportunity to be more, to show up, because this is like my 4th interview, and everything is kind of new, the timeline that I stepped in, and I feel very blessed that you were holding space for me to share what I believe to be my truth. And so
Well, I think it was a perfectly lovely way for people to really feel um, what it is like to be a co-creator. And I just thank you for that so much. And to all of you out there in Earth Nation, thank you for joining us today. And this is not the last interview, so there's more to come that's going to be super exciting. So stay tuned and thank you. I can't find the stop recording button. More imperfections. There it is. Bye, everybody.